UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres on Friday, January 27th, accused social media platforms and those who advertise on them of being complicit in accelerating extremism like anti-Semitism, racism, anti-Muslim bigotry, xenophobia, homophobia, and misogyny. Obviously, the issue of hate, extremism is a global problem. But in sports, we've seen countless times racism rear its head, attacks and extremist behaviors rear its head, players being attacked with bottles, with bananas to signify racist stereotypes against black players. And just recently, Atletico Madrid fans, some, not all, some fans were responsible for hanging an effigy of Vinicius, the Real Madrid left winger, over a bridge just before both teams were set to play. And with the end of that match, certainly there must have been certain chat rooms, forums online filled with more hateful rhetoric against that player. Does UEFA and other sports associations around the world, do they need to now take a stand against social media companies, particularly because they are being used as a platform to spread this hate and the hateful messages against players, against clubs, and potentially even resulting in attacks, physical assaults?
Most times when I hear this social media talk, the first thing I ask myself is there anything that is not spread through social media? Is there anything, think of it, anything, passion, sports, information, hate, like you said. So why are we streamlining it down to hate? Like I've always told people, social media is a tool, it's an equipment. Who handles those tools are the humans and the profiles behind it.
Yeah.
So what happens in the stadiums, the social media in the stadiums? Don't we hear racist chant? The doll you just spoke about that was hung up at the bridge, was that on social media? It was physical, it was on the bridge. So it's not about social media platforms, it's about the people behind it. And there are several ways to handle this. It's just because we have administrations that seem toothless or lack the cutting edge to stamp on things that can bridge the gap. For example,
Please.
what happened against Vinicius
Gbenga,
Jr.?
can you hear me?
Let me just wrap up. Yes, I can hear you.
Please, I want to make one final point because we're running out of time. I want to make this point.
Okay.
Social media and indeed mainstream media as a whole thrives on using clickbait-worthy stories. And hateful stories sell more because it appeals to a militant section of the population. They push those stories, and then when it breeds the inevitable flames of rage and hate, then they report on that hate and the outcome and the consequences. Doesn't the fact that they benefit off of it in the beginning of the story, shouldn't they take a greater responsibility in preventing those stories from rearing their heads in the first place? If you don't give the platform to the hateful speech makers, then those hateful speeches will have less effects on the players and personalities that are being attacked.
I know artificial intelligence is quite intelligent, but I don't think you can anticipate hateful speech. If I'm getting you correctly, I don't think a social media platform can put up an algorithm that says, okay, this particular profile wants to tweet or wants to post or wants to upload something hateful. You can't realistically do that.
All right,
what I
Gbenga.
think they can do, which they have been doing, is curb it. When somebody says something hateful, delete the profile, block the person. That they can react. But being proactive, I feel it will impede on basic human rights.
All right, Gbenga, thank you so much for your presence on the show. It's been a pleasure having you. I'm sure we'll keep talking more on this issue as time goes on. Thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
And ours too. And to everyone at home or at work, wherever you're having the opportunity to catch us on the show Plus Sports Special on Plus TV Africa this Saturday. My name is Mikhail Tinubu. It's always a pleasure having you join us. Remember, life is never boring with some sports. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.